All right, now we're thinking about sine 2x, which of course we know means that we have two sine curves in a normal period from 0 to 2 pi. So let's think about a quick sketch of that. If I make let's try to do some straight lines, make a quick set of axes. And since my last sketch was so terrible, I'll actually put in guidelines. So sine is going to start at the middle, middle. If we're doing 2 full cycles from 0 to 2 pi, we're going to look something like this. So there's 2 pi. That looks like a 4. I really was thinking about a 2, I promise. All right, so 2 pi. And then negative pi is going to be a full cycle. So to here, there's my negative pi. And now if I want to equal negative a half, that'll be down here. So now we can see how many solutions we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 solutions. So I can tell that 2 of them are negative and 4 of them are positive. That's what I'm going to be thinking about when I think about sine theta being equal to negative a half. Well, I know that a half for sine is my short angle because that's the short side. So my reference angle is going to be pi over 6. Now I know that sine is negative in quadrants 3 and 4. So then I can find my 2 angles. Theta 1, my quadrant 3 angle, is going to be pi plus pi over 6. So 7 pi over 6. And theta 2 is going to be my value in quadrant 4. So that's going to be 7 pi over 6. Over here we're going to have 11 pi over 6. Now I can figure out my other ones by adding and subtracting multiples of 2 pi. So I'm still thinking about the original function, which has a period of 2 pi. So if I want to get the negative ones, so I'm looking for 6 thetas because I saw here that I want 6. So theta 3, I'm going to do 7 pi over 6 minus 2 theta. So I'm going to minus 12 over 6, so negative 5 pi over 6. Theta 4, negative 1 pi over 6. For theta 5, I'm going to take this value, add 2 pi over 6, so 19 pi over 6. And theta 6, when I add 2 pi, I'll get 23 pi over 6. So this is theta, but I didn't start with theta. I started with 2x. So now, when I think about my x values are going to be all of these theta values divided by 2. So theta is equal to 2x. Therefore, x is theta over 2. So all of my x values are going to be these values divided by 2. So I'm going to put them in order. Negative 5 pi, when I divide by 2, I'll get over 12. Negative pi over 12. So here, those are these 2 values here. Continuing on, 7 pi over 12, 11 pi over 12, and then 19 pi over 12, and 23 pi over 12. So I can see that all of these values are less than 2 pi and greater than negative pi. So there's my 6 values. If I had been drawing this on graph paper and had drawn it to scale and accurately, I would have seen these clearly on the graph as well had I scaled my axis to count by 12s.